really hope what I'm about to say is helpful to some of you. No doubt it will, because I know some of you are going through stuff that's kind of like what I'm going through. So, over the last few months, I've been going through a season of life. And in this season of life, I have gone through a lot of grief, which caused a lot of burnout. I've been transitioning from one season of my life into the other. And to say it has been hard would be an understatement. So there's been a lot of sadness and hurt and the feeling of grieving, which to be honest, I didn't even know I was grieving. So it's been really hard. There's been days where I felt like I was being sucked down a black hole into the depths of hell. And I was concerned some days that if I didn't get a hold on things, it would completely consume me. There were days I couldn't think, I couldn't breathe. I had massive anxiety, like intense anxiety. So not just the feeling of worry, but I just like I had butterflies in my stomach from the moment I woke to the moment I went to bed. If I woke up during the night, I would have extreme anxiety. I couldn't focus. I had the jitters. I had the shakes. I couldn't hold stuff. I went for tea with my girlfriends one day and couldn't hold the teacup. My hand was shaking. Like my central nervous system was destroyed. My adrenals were like crapping out and I just could not function. I was crying. I couldn't eat. I just was in a really horrible, terrible, horrible place. That's the best way I can describe it. Thankfully, I am transitioning and coming out of this season. I still have a bit to go, but I know some of you are experiencing a season in your life, just like me. And I want to share a bit of my experience over the last few months to hopefully help you because it's been like really hard. If it wasn't for the grace of God and some amazing friends and my sister, I honestly don't know how I would have got through it. I don't know. There were just moments I just could not see past the fog of like, oh my God, is this really happening? What is happening? What am I going crazy? Am I losing my mind? I don't think I had experienced real grief until it happened the last few months, and it was intense. And being a researcher, I like researched it. I listened to the podcast. I watched the videos. Like, what is going on? Like, am I losing my mind? Why am I feeling like this? Is this normal? I was saying to my friends, like, is this normal? Like, I feel like I'm going crazy. What is happening? And it turned out that I was going through a massive state of grief that was completely new to me. And yeah, I've lost people in my life before. This was different. Um, and it nearly destroyed me, if I'm honest. Most people wouldn't know because I don't always share a lot. But I want to share this because I know some of you are going through this. When this was happening to me, and I'm still in this season of grief and loss and processing everything, I didn't know if I was going up or down or left or right. In the beginning stages, I couldn't function. Thankfully, I have so many good people in my life. They were checking in on me, checking that if I was okay, did I need anything, did I need to talk, did like they were just checking in, and that was so helpful to feel like I wasn't alone and that I had people that cared about me and that if I needed to speak to someone, I could. But in the early stages, every time I tried to speak, I cried. I just cried. My friends and sister knew, of course, God always knows, they knew I was struggling a lot. But what I was experiencing was like crazy, absolutely crazy. And I'm not in that stage anymore, thankfully. But I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And there was two aspects to this exhaustion. One was the mental aspect. My body, my brain, my central nervous system, my adrenals, they were trying to process what was happening so much. that it was just sucking the life out of me. It was taking all of my energy, so I didn't have a lot left for anything else. Like I said, to people, like I feel like this is consuming me. It was consuming me. It was just sucking me to the depths of hell. And lucky I got out, but I had no energy. So there was the mental side, and then there was the physical side. I was just exhausted. My whole body was trying to let go of what I thought my life was and would be like, and then transition into like this new unknown. And it's still kind of unknown, but there was a huge drain on my energy system, huge. Um, and all of this was being compounded with the immense anxiety I was feeling every day. So I was sleeping a lot, like a lot. This is one thing I did to help myself recover and get through this period of time is I slept a lot. I was in bed some nights at 7, 7:30. I am not a napper, but I was napping. From let's say mid-February to mid-March, I was napping because I needed it. And there was two reasons why I needed it. I didn't have any energy. I couldn't. There were moments where I would start like doing abs or some sort of exercise and I'd feel like I was going to vomit because I was so exhausted from this big drain on my system, and the overwhelm and my thoughts were spiraling and everything was just crazy. And I had no control over anything because apparently this is what grief and loss does to you. And I had no experience with this before. So I was napping to try support and love and care for my body and listen to my body. I was listening to my body. But the other reason I was napping, if I'm honest, was because I wanted to escape what was happening, just like take me out of this. I just couldn't deal with what was happening. And the same with sleeping for so long. And I don't know how I got through it, to be honest, but I did. Um, and being kind to myself really helped. And I missed a lot of my workouts because I just didn't have it in me. And because I was so tired, everything was slower. I was behind on my whole day. So even if I wanted to work out, I didn't have the time because I was behind on everything. So I learned to give myself a lot of grace and a lot of kindness. I leaned a lot into praying. I've always been an avid prayer. I leaned a lot into reading books, not the science, not the health, but more into poetry and gentler, more supportive books. I mean, everybody knows I love Alice in Wonderland, but I was leaning into those a lot more than just my reading before bed. Had a lot of compassion for myself in a third party point of view. I was looking at myself in an outsider kind of sight and thinking, oh my God, like I feel so bad for this girl and what she's going through. And I got out the other side, thankfully. Well, I'm still transitioning through it. I'm nearly out, and I really hope this video is a comfort to someone because I want you to understand that even those of us that I would consider myself pretty strong and resilient, this hits hard when you go through times of loss, burnout, grief, transition. Your whole life has been turned upside down. It's really, really hard. So as I was resting and trying to take care of my body, I was still trying to get walks in because I found they just helped me slow down a bit and breathe more. I found like my heart was racing, obviously, with the anxiety, and I was doing a lot of shallow, fast breathing. I was really trying to just slow down, help my body process. In the starting stages, I'll just add this of this season. I wasn't so much trying to help my mind process things because that was too hard for me. I wasn't ready to do that. But I was trying to help my mind process or my body process what was going on with all the hormonal shifts, the adrenaline, the cortisol, the anxiety, the sadness, the loss, the feeling of being lost, the unknown, letting go of a life I thought I had and would have. And that took a lot off out of me physically, a lot. And then to help my body support itself, like that physical aspect, I knew that if I didn't get a hold, at least on my nutrition, that I was going to go catabolic from the amount of stress hormones I had. Like it was, again, consuming me. I couldn't hold a pen. I just had the jitters every time I would breathe. I wanted to cry. I couldn't breathe at times. Like it was intense, and I know some of you can relate to this. You can barely function. But I knew I would go catabolic. I would start consuming myself. Like catabolic means you start eating yourself, your muscles, your bones, your tissues. And I didn't want that to happen. And I knew I had to support my adrenals, my central nervous system, my thyroid, the whole lot, like my brain, the whole lot. Even my reproductive, like my cycle, I had to support it all. So I leaned a lot into certain nutrients, and I hope these help you along with the tips that I've given you so far. First was minerals. I had a lot of minerals because I knew and I know from my work that we need a lot of minerals and electrolytes when we're going through periods of stress or upset. Um, so I had a lot of them between my electrolytes from Organica and Jigsaw Health, then my essential amino acids. I use ATP Labs, lemon juice, sea salt in my food. I was taking electrolyte pills, or I still do from Kodaj, but I was staying on top of that a lot, along with my fruit and vegetables, which contain electrolytes. But minerals were really important, and they helped a lot with the central nervous system distress. They helped to calm me down a bit. Then I was leaning more into carbs, into sugar, because really, and this is why a lot of us gravitate to sugar when we're very stressed, that sugar is the best medicine for pushing down the stress hormones. So I wasn't necessarily having like sugar the way you're probably thinking of it, but I was having lots more fruit, orange juice, lots of oranges for more calcium support, electrolyte support, fiber, apples, sweet potato. I was having lots more fruit juice because I needed an easier way to get sugar into me fast. Most people know I'm a big fan of protein candy, and they've great ingredients, but they're like 24 grams of carbs. I found them very helpful and was helpful for me getting that extra fiber and protein in. And I was having one thing I was having more of, and it's okay. It's okay because I needed it. My system needed it. I was having a lot more like gummy bears, or whatever you call them. We just call them gummies in Ireland. Um, I like the natural fruit juice ones from Katja, which is a German brand. But I did have some Haribo, and that's okay because I needed that fast source of sugar. There was a bit of protein there from the gelatin, and that was really supportive to my adrenals and my thyroid, and I could feel it because with the immense amount of anxiety I had, because my adrenaline was just through the roof, like it was crazy. Like I said, there was sometimes I would breathe and cry. It was just crazy. I never experienced anything like this in my life. I still like right now, I don't know how I got through it. I know how I'm getting through it now, but I don't know how I got through the last few months, but I did. But these foods really helped me a lot. And of course, I had my protein as well, but I could feel that when I had the extra sugar, it helped to calm me down. It just helped to support my adrenals, my central nervous system, my thyroid. Of course, carbs are very important for the thyroid. Um, and these are the foods I leaned more into. Not that I'm encouraging you to go eat a load of Haribo, but I am saying you got to listen to your body. Don't lean into junk food, take out alcohol, which I know a lot of people tend to do when they're going through stress, but that's actually going to make it worse on many levels, but especially that mental turmoil will be exacerbated if you lean into alcohol and takeout and junk food. Please don't do that. If you're going to expose yourself to more sugar, at the very least, try pick the cleanest option you can. I know somebody saying, "Oh, Haribo has food colorings and preservatives." Yeah, you're right, it does, but it's pretty much just sugar and gelatin, like I mentioned. So it's easier to metabolize a lot of those extra toxins that were there with them. But again, I try to choose cleaner sources. These helped me a lot. And then I had lots of B vitamins, lots, because I knew like if I'm to keep my energy up and help my body recover from this state that I'm in, B vitamins are going to be essential to me because, as I was starting to say, my anxiety was so high. I lost a lot. Well, it's a lot for me. I lost about 5 pounds of body fat over the last few months. And it was because my anxiety would peak around 1, 2 p.m. each day. And there was certain triggers, and I hated them because I knew if they came, that was the end of me. And I could just do the bare minimum. And that did not include eating dinner. I could not eat dinner. So I skipped dinner a lot because one, I didn't have the mental capacity to even bring myself to cook. And two, I couldn't. I didn't have the appetite. My stomach was just full of anxiety. It was no place to introduce food. So I was having bigger breakfasts, making sure I was getting my dense nutrition in breakfast, more carbs at lunch. So that way, if I didn't have dinner, I knew I'd gotten my nutrition or my nutrient requirements in. And then in the evenings, I was sticking more to just bone broth and tea and collagen and like electrolytes, my magnesium, stuff like that. But this was my approach, and I can thankfully say that I'm coming out the other side with the help of God and some absolutely amazing people, and I will an understanding of my body and physiology, which I'm sharing with you now because I know a lot of people don't have the understanding that I have, and hopefully this is helpful to you. Um, and I'm starting to feel like myself again and push back into my harder workouts and kind of hone in or refine my nutrition a lot more, starting to look forward to the future again and not feel as lost as I was feeling. Thank you to those of you that have supported me over the last few months. You've no idea what you mean to me. But I'm doing this video to hopefully help those of you that are going through some sort of grief or loss or burnout or transition in your life that's really hard and you don't know how to deal with it or what to do. Hopefully the information in this video gives you a bit of direction and help. And you know what? If I can help any more, because I know how hard it is, email me, message me on Instagram or Facebook. I'll give you more direction. I'll share more of my experience, and hopefully over the coming weeks, I'll feel a bit more comfortable about sharing more of what I went through. It was really hard, still hard, but not as hard. But these nutrients helped my system a lot. I know a lot of people are afraid of sugar, which is bizarre, but I can see where it comes from. But carbs are not the enemy, especially not during times of immense turmoil and stress. Carbs are going to help you. Do your fruits. Don't be afraid of fruit juice. Don't be afraid of rice, white rice noodles. Potatoes are amazing. Don't be afraid of this stuff. If you need to have some gummy bears or protein candy, have it. You know, if you need to have some popcorn, have some popcorn. And once in a while, you know, you might need a glass of wine because it's just been one of those days. But remember, if you do have the glass of wine, it's going to make things worse. And that's where, again, my education was very helpful. I love a glass of wine like the next person or Prosecco. And there were days where I was so upset and had so much stress. I was saying to my friends, I'm definitely having a glass of wine tonight. And by the time the evening came, I didn't. I had my tea and collagen instead because I knew if I have this alcohol, it's going to crush me tomorrow. I'm going to feel so much worse. Not a hangover or anything, but how it's going to affect my hormones and my gut and my adrenals. I'm already struggling as it is. I don't need to make it harder tomorrow. So I think that's important to consider. But I hope this video is helpful. I don't always do these real raw videos. Probably should, but considering my experience and it like blew my mind, this is a thing. This is what people go through. How are people even alive if this is what they have to go through? But somehow we survive, and hopefully this video and my tips will help you survive. Take care of yourself, and I will hopefully share more soon. Thanks for listening.